Right, so it is day 82 of my New Year's tree planting resolution thing. So let's get on with it. Right, so today's planting is my attempt to give a sub-canopy to the two Mapanis, and you might remember that Mapanis are very shade-sensitive plants. They are supposed to be in full sun, and even though I haven't put them in full sun, they have sunburned a little bit, but I think that's more about their starting condition. And so I don't want to really interfere with their light as they grow up, but I do want to limit the exposure of the soil, because the area they're in, while we're waiting for these very slow-growing trees to get bigger, is very exposed, which means it tends to get very compacted when it rains, and it dries out completely when it's the dry season, and that does mean that the top layer of the soil is pretty much killed by UV radiation. So throwing in another tree that should sort of disrupt that system, we're going to go with the carrot tree, which is Steganotaenia araliacea. Now this is a sort of useful and useless tree at the same time, so you can't harvest anything from this tree. There are a lot of medicinal uses for it, but that is because it is incredibly toxic, and as we've talked about previously with the Euphorbia tyricale, which is also one that's often used for hedges, anything really toxic you can sort of use if you're very, very good at it, at poisoning a disease before you poison the patient, but that is a very big risk. And this is a very unique chemistry for this plant, so even around other umbellifers like carrots and parsnips, which it's related to, this is probably quite a good one to plant as a hedge because it is just so toxic, anything that eats it doesn't really eat anything else at all. It is a native tree. Its other really big use, which is why it's a really good one to have around crops, is it is a very vigorous flower, and its flower, like carrots, like parsnips, like a lot of the other umbels, is an open sort of umbrella of little small whitish brown flowers which have very short throats, which means that every pollinator really can use them. So honeybees, anything you can be wanting to attract in to pollinate your crop is going to use these, and they flower right in the dry season, so there's not too much flowering around at the same time, so it's really useful from that perspective. They can be grown from cuttings, but like a lot of things, it's a lot easier with a seedling. I did learn my lesson from the impundu, so this is actually a seedling that I put into a bag for a while, and it has now rooted. It's going in with an aloe, which I'm not sure what it is, but I do have a theory which I'm going to put up. This is actually one that has self-seeded just on our fence line, and I took a couple of suckers from that because I am concerned, because it's a very low-growing one, that it might get destroyed by our mole rats. So while this tree is definitely not one that the mole rats will want to be chewing on the base of, because it is that toxic, the aloe, I'm not convinced of that, which is why we're putting the little rubble wall around the inside of the hole they're going in, to just dissuade the mole rats from coming and chewing on these, for their own good and for the good of the aloe. And I'm also going to be putting Calico longiflora in here, which should eventually spread out and form a nice little ground cover, although this aloe is very low growing. If it's the one I think it will have a decumbent stem, which means its stem will sort of lie on the ground, so it will spread out, but it won't go up, so it should be a nice low spreading ground cover. I have to say the flowers of it do very much go up, so they're about 6 feet tall. I will put a picture of that up because it is quite striking. So yeah, so this should be a nice little toxic barrier between our two Mapani trees. It should also be a nice sub-canopy for them once they're big enough, and just to keep this ground a little more sheltered, and as its stems come up, it should sort of slow the wind, reduce the sort of intensity of the sun without excessively shading the two Mapanis. Yeah, it should be a good little addition to this spot. So that should be everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that was a little more cogent than yesterday's. I know it's always going to be a bit of a ramble just because of the way my brain works. But anyway, please tune in again tomorrow when I will try again to be relatively cogent. Right, so just in case you thought my footage that I put in with the nest last time was shaky, I'm trying with the camcorder this time. So we've got a lovely little Hamerkop here, just sitting on a dead branch on top of an avocado tree, enjoying the evening sort of twilight. So as I said last time, these are basically a miniature stork, so their only really close relatives are the shoebills, which I will pop up a picture of. They prey mostly on things like frogs and lizards, and also fish when they can get them. They're really just wonderful little creatures. They can decimate a fish pond if you're not giving it enough depth, but again, this is not a diving bird, so just make sure that any ponds you put in have sufficient depth that that bird couldn't reach to the bottom with its sort of 20-25 centimeter legs, and you will be good on that.